A year ago, this comment could have taken me down. Not this time. Let me explain. So I got a comment yesterday saying my video was unclear, rambling, scattered. That used to be the kind of thing that would have me really upset. And I would carry it with me all day long, maybe even the next day. Not just the words, but the meaning that I gave them, especially with all the time and effort that I put into making these videos for you. It's really, really important. So a year ago, after everything I'd been through with my husband dying and everything, my nervous system would have reacted instantly. I know this about myself. Overthinking, replaying it, self-doubting, just really like questioning myself. That spiral would have been automatic. My nervous system was shot at that time. And my programs were running rampant in many ways. So, but this time I never even saw the negative. I want to bring this to your attention because this is what happens when you rewire your brain and when you start practicing the stability spiral, like the stability moment, literally choosing to become an internal operator versus a programmed reactor. My reaction to this comment, it wasn't until after, because I was so grateful for the comment. It was not until after that I thought, wow, that would have taken me down before. So if that had bothered me, and I want to give you, if something, a comment or something bothers you like that, then like it would have me, maybe not a year ago, but probably like more like 3 years ago, but still, if it is going to take you down, this whole thing, this microstability, to take that pause, the big P, and if you need to, and what I'm referring to, and you can download it, always in the description, is the stability spiral, the model, that guide, to show you how a programmed reactor will take a comment or take something and just spiral down. And the internal operator chooses to take a pause. You always have a pause before you react. You always have that. That's in our brains. That happens. And you can choose to not only be aware, but you can choose to take that pause and breathe, create a stability, a microstability, which you'll see on that model, which is on the PDF, which you can download, always at lennymotivates.net, stability spiral. And you can see how you can create a moment for yourself, like a micro stability, where you can not just breathe to bring back your nervous system, but to move back into the parasympathetic versus a sympathetic, but also to get to a place where you create capacity so that you have clarity. So that's what, just the pause itself would be enough to disrupt, to interrupt that spiral. And that's what you're looking for. When I'm talking about that stability moment, and I say, that's a stability moment, that is you, like, this is an opportunity. Wow. Right now, I don't feel stable. I feel unstable. I feel angry. I feel irritated. I feel there's some emotion that you do not care for. And you would prefer not to have that reaction. And it's a program, first of all. So don't judge yourself by that. Don't like shame yourself or any of that. It's just a program, and you can rewire it. And I'm sharing this with you today because that comment could have and would have years ago taken me down, and it didn't. So the pause is your power. It literally is your power to move into the internal operator. So now rewired from that place, I could see clearly that this person was to me, I felt, and this is, I responded, you can look at it was from yesterday, the video, the comment. This person was so wonderful. I think it's Mientros or something like that is the name. That this person took the time because they really wanted to understand. They didn't feel they could hear me. They said I was scattered, I was scrambled, I was, I don't know if scrambled, but rattled. I don't know what. Let me see what they said. I'm trying to see in my notes, but let me see if I could see what they said. I wrote it down. Unclear, rambling, scattered, something like that. So that's what I wrote down in my notes. But I never even saw that. Instead, literally, I recognized it and was so grateful for it, because it was feedback. And this person literally, and I want to thank you, person, literally took the time to tell me, and I really felt they really wanted to understand, and I had been rambling. So it wasn't a definition of me, and I was able to receive it without losing myself, without spiraling down, without being a programmed reactor and spiraling down and just going with the programs that are just like, be irritated, be offended, be embarrassed, doubt yourself. All of those are programs. By the way, there's no shame in any of them. They are programs, and you can rewire them. And I'm sharing this with you because it was so powerful. I was telling my daughter just like how very grateful I was that this person took the time, and that I responded so like happily. Thank you for that feedback. And I'm trying to work on my presentation, because the message is so importante to me. And if I'm not communicating correctly with you and delivering my message, then why am I even here? I'm here because I have a message. And that message is, you were born with unlimited promise and potential. And you got programmed, and you can rewire it. That's part of the message. The other thing is, you can take control of your life, like literally. And I'm not saying get all controlling. My message is, you don't have to be unstable. Like, you literally can emotionally put yourself in a place to where you're not spiraling down. You can empower yourself and spiral up. You can choose to respond. You don't have to react. You can literally, let me take these off for a second and just tell you, you can literally respond the way that you want to. And that's just so empowering. It's almost fun. In yesterday's video, when I caught myself with the Microsoft offer that wouldn't allow me to move, I had to say, yes, no, I'm not going to buy it, or here's my money. Those are my only two options. So I did Control-Alt-Delete because I gave myself another option. But I was irritated, and I started to spiral, and I was like, wait a minute, this is an opportunity. So I'm trying not to mix all this, but I want to be super clear that what happened with that comment did not derail me. It did not destabilize me. I did not even get offended. I didn't get embarrassed. I didn't question myself. I did say, what could I do better? And I went back and I watched the video, and very honestly, it was a little scattered. Because I was trying an experiment. I really want to, I'm sticking, not to a script, but I'm sticking to my points. And I'm not the best at sticking to those points at this point. I'm getting better. So that feedback was, I had just said yesterday, I'm just going to be myself, and I'm going to tell this story. And being myself, maybe it didn't work as well. So today, I'm explaining, for one, not that I have to explain, but I want to be very clear about my communication. If I'm here sharing these stability moments and how you can take back your life, I want it to land. I want you to understand and get it, and understand just how very powerful you are and how empowered you can be. For yourself, you can take back the power. And that P, when you start to spiral, like if a comment maybe would have thrown me a few years ago, maybe even last year when I was like totally, after Steve had passed and everything, my nervous system was shot, which is why I'm even teaching. I'm kind of going into my story, but I'll do it another day. But it's why I've actually created the model, the stability spiral, because I lived it. It was so challenging in the hospital with Steve and not knowing what was going to happen. And then after, and the entire journey, we were just, Lynette and I were, my daughter, we were just so unstable by that. So what I'm sharing with you is no matter what is happening, the stability comes from within. You get to choose whether you are an internal operator, the person, the state, that's a state of mind, the internal operator that spirals up, that chooses how they want to respond, or the programmed reactor with our programs where we just go with how we're feeling and just go into that, and that's the spiral down. That is the programmed reactor. So these are just states, they are not people. You get to choose the state. You can do anything in between or whatever, but my point is with that model, that's the model. So anyway, here's your power phrase, and it's, I choose what I take in and I stay grounded in who I am. I choose what I take in and I stay grounded in who I am. Now here's another one that's a bonus because I see this on my daughter's, she has a Berkey, it's a water filtration system. I see it every time I go, and I'm there a lot at her house. And it says, and she, it's something, and she tells me, but it's, I choose the contents of my life. I love that. I choose the contents of my life. I respond as, I choose what I allow in, like a comment, is it going to derail me? Somebody's dirty look from across the room, somebody's saying, I don't believe you, or you'll never get far with that. You know, and somebody that it's their programs running, but that doesn't mean that they are your programs. So this comment, again, it could have derailed me. It didn't. That is, I'm telling you, the power of rewiring your brain, and that's neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself until you take your very last breath, meaning you can change the negative programs that are running over 70%. I think it's over 77% that researchers say, that are negative, that are harmful and hold you back and stop you and sabotage you and are even harmful. These don't, you can rewire those. And so that's why I'm here. And I'm so excited because after I responded, I took a step back and thought, oh my gosh, a ruse. And this has been many times. But it happened this morning again. I'm totally, not totally. We rewire our brains until the day we pass on to wherever we're going. It's so powerful, this. And I know this is a longer video, and I'm okay with that. You can watch it or not watch it. I would love for you to pass this on. I'm literally sharing how very powerful it is to download how very powerful it is not to download, but to understand that stability spiral. I lived it. That was my experience. And I had to figure out, how do I stabilize again? And that's how, like literally, it's being aware, then it's taking that pause. The pause is your power, double P, big P, and then creating a microstability, whether it be a breath and a vagal breath, or earthing, or you can stack them. You can do both of those. You can go talk to a friend. You can, whatever it is, but creates capacity so that you can then come from a place of clarity to respond rather than react. So that's, I'm showing you that just today, that comment, which would have totally knocked me off, and all the things I would have been feeling, and I'm saying it again because repeat, rewiring, neuroplasticity, repetition is your point of power. Why? Because that's how the brain, when you're listening to something, I'm trying not to go on and on, but I just want to finish this. When you listen to the television, the news, or anything, day after day after day after day, and it's always on and it's going in, you're like, do I feel anxious? Why do I have anxiety? Why do I feel like the world is coming to an end? Why is it so negative? Why are there always negative people around me that are angry or sad or thinking the world's going to end? Because that's what you're feeding into your brain, so that becomes your experience, your output. So you create your own reality. Anyway, so I went deeper, but this is important because I wasn't derailed. and the rewiring is working. So I'm celebrating and I'm sharing my experience so that you too can rewire your brain with the right programs that help you to respond better in your life, and the stability, like creating, you get to choose your opportunity every time that something happens that triggers you. You get to say, this is an opportunity. I get to take a big pee. I get to pause, and I get to create a micro stability. Maybe that's a breath in, maybe that's earthing, maybe that's calling someone, maybe that's taking a drink of water, maybe that's standing on your head. Whatever it is that will help you to create some capacity, and you can stack those micro stabilities, and whatever will help you to create the capacity to then find clarity and then move yourself forward from there, from that state, from the internal operator versus the programmed reactor. I spent a lot of my life as the programmed reactor in that state. I've learned, and I'm learning, and it's a practice. It's every day. My makeup might be going off because I'm getting excited and passionate. Okay, so that's the story. I really want you to understand that, and I know this is longer, but that's the difference. Like, that reaction did not control me. I didn't even have a reaction. I chose. Like, I didn't even know. I'm just telling you, this is just so powerful. That could have been a stability moment for me, but my brain was already rewired to be totally grateful for that somebody would take the time. And I want to thank that individual, Mientros. I'm not sure how to say it. I think that's what it is. I want to thank you again, because that's real feedback, and I care. I care how I present myself. I care how I communicate. I care deeply, or I wouldn't be here every day. I'm doing 365 days. I wouldn't be here. What is coming out of this for me? I am teaching what I most need to learn. Yes, because I'm practicing and I'm getting my message out there. That's what's important. Do I get 1 million views? No, not yet. I hope so. I hope that you will share this. I hope if this helps you, you'll share this video. I mean, this video might get like 2 views. If one person gets it, that's good enough. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Okay, so if you want to understand this more deeply, I think I explained it, but please go download the Stability Spiral guide, and that is at lennymotivates.net/stability spiral. And then if you're ready to start rewiring your brain with repetition, there's an app. It's always in the description. It's not mine, it's my mentor's. And it's the way that I do. And that is at bit.ly self-talk 30 days free. You get 30 days free. In 30 days, I'm telling you, you will know whether you're going to keep that app and pay for it or not. And you get to have 6 people on that app. You get it, and you and 5 other people in your family can be listening to that. What other app gives you that? So it's invaluable. So I wanted to share that today and let you know that how powerful you really are. So you can do, be, change, have, create, become absolutely anything. The wind is about to blow me away. So I'm going to tell you, I believe in you. You can do this. You can do absolutely anything. As always, shining my light to brighten yours. And thank you. Today is day 19. I'll see you for day 20 tomorrow. Ciao.